Ongoing, the Afghanistan conflict is a series of wars which have been fought in Afghanistan since 1978. Previously, the Kingdom of Afghanistan was overthrown in the relatively bloodless 1973 Afghan coup d'etat, which brought the monarch Muhammad Zahir Shah's 39-year reign to an end, and ended Afghanistan's relatively peaceful period in modern history. Starting with the Sur Revolution military coup, an almost continuous series of armed conflicts has dominated and afflicted Afghanistan, including a Soviet invasion, a series of civil wars between Mujahideen groups, notably the Taliban, a NATO invasion, a Taliban insurgency, and fighting between the Taliban and the Islamic State Khorasan province. The conflict includes, it has been estimated that 1,405,111 to 2,084,468 lives have been lost since the start of the conflict. From 1933 to 1973, Afghanistan experienced a lengthy period of peace and relative stability. It was ruled as a monarchy by King Zahir Shah, who belonged to the Afghan Musahiban Barakzai dynasty. In the 1960s, Afghanistan as a constitutional monarchy held limited parliamentary elections. Zahir Shah, who would become the last king of Afghanistan, was overthrown by his cousin Muhammad Daud Khan in July 1973. After discontent with the monarchy grew in the urban areas of Afghanistan. The country had gone through several droughts, and charges of corruption and poor economic policies were leveled against the ruling dynasty. Khan transformed the monarchy into a republic, and he became the first president of Afghanistan. He was supported by a faction of the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan, Afghanistan's Communist Party, which was founded in 1965 and enjoyed a strong relationship with the Soviet Union. In the rise of the Taliban in Afghanistan, mass mobilization, civil war, and the future of the region, Nematullah Nojumi writes, the establishment of the Republic of Afghanistan increased the Soviet investment in Afghanistan, and the PDPA influence in the government's military and civil bodies. In 1976, alarmed by the growing power of the PDPA and the party's strong affiliation with the Soviet Union, Daud Khan tried to scale back the PDPA's influence. He dismissed PDPA members from their government posts, appointed conservative elements instead, and finally announced the dissolution of the PDPA, arresting senior party members. On the 27th of April 1978, the PDPA and military units loyal to the PDPA revolted and killed Daud Khan, his immediate family and bodyguards in a violent coup during the battle to seize control of the capital, Kabul, in what became known as the Sur Revolution, as the PDPA had chosen a weekend holiday to conduct the coup. When many government employees were having a day off, Daud Khan was not able to fully activate the well-trained armed forces which remained loyal to him. To counter the coup, the PDPA formed a new government through a revolutionary council, which attempted to balance the two major competing factions within itself, the more radical and revolutionary Khalq on one hand, and the more moderate and reformist Parkham on the other. Despite this, the Khalqist wing, led by the charismatic Nur Muhammad Turki, who became the new chairman, gained supremacy in the aftermath of the revolution and adopted a program of land reform, abolition of feudal and tribal structures, and equality for women. Though these reforms were supported by the army and city-dwelling population, they went against the very traditional, religious and tribal customs of rural Afghanistan, which in turn led to strong rural and clerical opposition against the government and various anti-government uprisings. Around this time, the party came to be influenced by Hafizullah Amin, who undermined Turkey despite being a fellow Khalqist, purged Pachamites from the party, and began ruthlessly cracking down on political opposition. Therefore, a hostile doctrine against any political dissent was adopted, whether inside or outside the party. Turki, who had ruled for only about a year, was then assassinated by Amin, who now took over formal leadership of the country. Amin was known for his independent and nationalist inclinations, and was also seen by many as a ruthless leader. He has been accused of killing tens of thousands of Afghan civilians at Pul-e-Charkhi and other national prisons while cracking down on both the oppositions and the Pachamites. 27,000 politically motivated executions reportedly took place at Pul-e-Charkhi prison alone. Afghans generally held Amin personally responsible for most of the repression, while the Soviet Union considered his government illegitimate, discredited and doomed to collapse in a civil war. The Soviet Union secured an alliance with the more moderate Babrak Karmal and his Pachamite faction, invading Afghanistan on the 24th of December 1979 and originally meeting only limited resistance. Amin was deposed from power almost immediately, as he and 200 of his guards were killed on